This quotes these two verses.
Oh.
Therefore God your God has anointed you with the rod of gladness more than your companions. His ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Jesus is God's only Son, and he lowered himself to become a man, but as a man he still had the knowledge of God exceeding all the knowledge of God that all of the rest of people have. And 2 Chronicles 16:9 says, God's eyes look into all of the earth to show himself strong on behalf of them that love him. And so Jesus Christ, more than any of the rest of us, God showed himself strong in him. Verse 8, all your garments are scented with myrrh and aloes and cassia out of the ivory palaces by which they have made you glad. It's describing how rich Jesus is.
Oh, really? Okay.
That even though it said of him that he had no place to lay his head, it sounds like, well, he's poor.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he really has all the blessings of God on him. And so out of the ivory palaces, there's a hymn that way that it's talking about heaven. But so Jesus had come out of heaven, and his garment scented with myrrh and aloes and cassia. The woman who poured out ointment on Jesus, and so much of this is prophecy. It's prophecy, especially when we see how it in Isaiah, it's also confirmed there. So now this about the king's daughters. King's daughters are among the honorable women. At your right hand stands the queen in gold from Ophir. So there's another psalm that says, it's the same one, but it says, Solomon had how many wives? He had 700 wives.
Oh, wow.
and 300 concubines.
Jeez.
Just around for sex, if you want them, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jesus is better than that, and this is probably where Islam got the concept of that you'll have all these virgins when you're in heaven, and you'll. No, Jesus says in marriage there's no in heaven there's no marriage or giving in marriage. And so thinking you're going to have 72 virgins in heaven is not God's idea of heaven. But as Solomon had many women serving whatever purpose he wanted them to do, Jesus all the more. And so he says, this says queen, the queen will be in gold. And but Christ's bride is the church.
Oh, yeah.
And the church will, when we come into the New Jerusalem is said to be the city the streets are paved with gold, will be in great wealth when we come to heaven. Listen, O daughter, consider and incline your ear. Forget your own people also and your father's house. So most of those women that Solomon married were from other countries.
Oh, really?
And so if they come from other countries and they're still trying to to get their country to be get some advantage over Israel for their country, then that's not helping Israel.
No, not really.
And so in the church, we want people who come to the church to serve Christ, and not to come in with ulterior motive. I'm here to get benefits for my business or whatever. Some people go to church